Afternoon all. How are we all doing? How is everybody? Hopefully we don't get cut off this afternoon. This morning, this live room had to be done in two parts because the internet went down. Torrential rain yesterday. Internet is very heavily affected by rain in the UK. No idea why. I suppose it's because it's cables, it's underground. But how are we all doing? Afternoon, John, Crom, Peter, Danny, Daniel, Monkey Man, Kennelly, Brian, Fletch. It's time, Brian, digging the Zen portion of the intro music. Is it Zen, is it? I don't know. It's just a free thing I found on some stock site, so I didn't pick it specifically to be Zen. Yeah, news this morning. Obviously, it's a bank holiday. This week is total chaos week. It's all going to kick off this week. All over the place, every single day this week, we have either got an interest rate, an inflation figure, a retail sale figure, a GDP figure, or something catastrophically huge happening with pretty much every currency. So starting tomorrow with the CPI for the Canadian dollar, and then off we go. Rates. So yeah, big week this week. We've just had the PMI figures coming out for the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar's taken off on these PMI figures. Don't usually do a lot. The bloody hell. Sorry. One sec. Need to quickly place some orders. 1 second. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. So yeah, PPI figures came out for the Canadian. 1.3 on a forecast of 0.21. Quite a big hit. We don't usually pay much attention to it because it doesn't do a lot. But yeah, big move off that. The oil price is still rallying as well. So the Canadian dollar's basically taken off today. Oil still rallying. So it's not really done a massive amount. Asia pushed up, it pulled back, sat there, and we've pushed up during London in the last hour. But yeah, Canadian dollar, really liking those figures. So CAD has gone off the charts a little bit. So I've got longs and shorts on the CAD at the moment. I've got US dollar CAD short, which is good. I've already taken quite a bit off of that US dollar CAD short. Got out too soon. This was the target I initially set myself, down in propulsion, and then this low, which we are at, and now we've gone through it. So we'll see where we go on this CAD. See if it can sustain the run, basically. Apart from that, ECB has been rallied this morning. We've had loads of ECB, well, Casimir basically, but Guindos as well. Kind of saying it's probably not the last rate cut, might be, but we've probably got a bit more to do. Definitely not going to be cutting rates, So just trying to rally the euro a little bit because it came down very, very hard off the positive interest rate rise, which is not what they wanted. Seems to be doing the trick from what they said on Friday. They were rallying it on Friday as well. But nothing dramatic happened off of this today. EuroCAD's obviously coming down, but so yeah, no real movement either way. Euro's a little bit stuck. So we'll see what happens, but no negative moves. We will see what happens this afternoon. Afternoon, Baggy, Evans, Paolo, Lax, Virginia, Day Trader FX. I think we should trade listening to Pink Floyd's Money on rotation. Funny you should say that. There was I used to trade in a room called Day Trading Radio when I first started in stocks. And he used to play that all the time. But not sure if he still does. But anyway, been there, done that. DAX this morning, couldn't get anywhere on the DAX this morning. I'm still in it. I'm just about to get out of it, to be honest. So I'm out. So yeah, out with a loss on the DAX this morning. I've still got 2 positions on this. I'm just going to stop out on this down here. 15,737. That's TP. Scrap that. Try again. 15,737. Go. So if the DAX rallies down at the open of the New York session, I'm going to get out of that. So it's a loss on the DAX today. We'll see where that goes. But the other indices, today we've had quite a big drop pre-market. Very difficult to know where this is going to go today. The DAX has obviously come down quite heavily today. I got out way too soon on the hedge. This should really been locked in at a not a break even, but a 3K loss today. But I got out too early. So I put another one on to see if I can get out, but it's got to rally quite hard today. So US indices, as you can see, total collapse on Friday. We've had a bit of a down session so far in the Globex today. All the US indices down on Friday. So we'll see where we go. Market's about to open. Bit of volatility coming in pre-market. There we go. Market's open. So we'll see where we go here. There's a quick break on the Dow. But from a support resistance perspective, you can see the NASDAQ, we're kind of back down at these lows from a couple of weeks ago. And with the S&P, we're not far away from that low again there. And the Dow, we're kind of sitting around these lows here, which is the previous week's low. So it's all that happened basically was Thursday it rallied, Friday it undid the whole lot on an A-shaped recovery. So we're back to exactly where we started. Story of our lives at the moment, nothing's moving. So we'll see where we go today. But downside-wise, there's different dangers downside on all of these today. NASDAQ, we're right down at these lows. So I would expect them to start looking to buy this up and get some of this move undone. The S&P, little bit more downside, well within an ADR though. So ADR is down there. That's that support. So if we go down, I'll be looking for long somewhere down there. And the Dow, pretty much from where we are. Any of this area down here could act as support. We've got yesterday's low. We've got the previous day's low, which we've tapped into and bounced off so far. But then we've got a nice big drop down to 125 ADR. So they're all kind of a little bit out of sync with each other at the minute. So we'll see where we go. But we've broken to the upside on the Dow. So I just wanted to check this account. How can there be a loss? Oh, current profit. Sorry, it's just looking at current profit. So I hedged on that and a short on that. This is a broker called Osprey. This is Funded Pro, new prop firm. Well, not a new prop firm, another prop firm I've not looked at before. So I just wanted to see what their execution's like. I wanted to watch the open and I completely missed it. So, yeah, that's not good. Totally missed the open. But all seems to have executed okay. So spreads are a bit wide. Not particularly impressed with these spreads. Got better spreads on Robo Forex, but I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, we'll see where we go. At the moment, everything's kind of flip-flopping around. We've broken long on the NAS. We've broken long on the Dow. The S&P's gone short. So bit of a mixed bag so far. A real exciting direction there. DAX is pushing back down again into these lows. So if you're still in the DAX, that's kind of point of no return for me. That's getting on for ADR, isn't it? So we'll see where we go. Nice break to the upside on the NASDAQ. Unfortunately, I got hedged on that. See, look, I got hedged on it here. So long and short, just tap me in on that hedge. Over here, I'm long only. Didn't get hedged. So not quite sure what's going on there. Approaching 2R on the NASDAQ. So that's really tight, isn't it? I didn't really get a proper offset on that. Anybody get hedged on that, or did if you're hedging? But I mean, if you either got stopped out on that with the opening range breakout EA, or you are straight in long, which is great. That offset doesn't seem to be enough. Oh, it's a 2-digit broker. I need to adjust the offset on these. It's 2-digit. Didn't even check that. Oh, that's a pain in the backside. What's that? NASDAQ. Let me just save that as a preset. 1 sec. That's why I'm hedged. Two-digit brokers. You've got to be careful. NASDAQ. That'll be the S&P. Oh. And DAX. Check that. Stupid me. So, yeah, that's a pain in the ass. That explains why I got hedged here and not there. So TP hit. 2R straight up. Dow is on its way. S&P can't make its mind up which way it's going. Come back to that in a minute. Knocked out on the sell side, in long on the NASDAQ. Cool. So, so from an ADR perspective today, we've had one ADR today. CAD Swiss. So obviously the Canadian dollar is on a mission at the minute. I'm in one on this already from last Thursday, short on the H1 RSI extension. Look at this RSI. Since we started that rally, we have not got back down below that 50 level. It's just holding constant grind on this CAD Swiss. Euro news, not good for the Swiss franc. Nothing but good news for the Canadian dollar with oil, and the US dollar keeps being positive all the time with its news. So going all the way up. So the further this gets extended, as far as I'm concerned, the better. We'll get a nice big pullback on this. This is the area that I was initially looking at for the first pullback, which was this accumulation, which is what we tapped into on Thursday. Didn't get the pullback from that. So we've just accumulated and broken. So we'll be watching this accumulation at 225 ADR for the next potential resistance. And then we'll be watching somewhere up there. So scaling on this, anywhere in here we get some kind of reversal. I'll be scaling in on lower time frame. So dropping down. Obviously, as soon as we get a reversal alert, that's too close. But assuming we go a bit further today, I'll be scaling into a second position on that. 38, so 20, 40, somewhere around about 30 pips. So it needs to be really somewhere around about 125 ADR or so for a second entry for me on that one. And then obviously up into that next potential resistance, which is anywhere up there really. It's about 50. So, and 1.25 ADR from initial position. So yeah, looking at that. And then this area here, basically. So potential out of there and there for shorts. Let's go, NASDAQ. Lovely break on the NAS. So NASDAQ's far too many open. NASDAQ's off. Lovely break on the NAS. It's the upside. So yeah, there you go. So I'm not hedged on it here, as you can see. So buy straight into TP at TP2, one trade off, trailing the second entry. To get up there. Could go further than that today, couldn't it? Might just extend that TP today. I'm going to get out there. You never know. That's ADR. But between that area there where we broke down on the news and this area here, there's not a lot. So if we tap into that and accumulate around there and break, might as well go for the big one. But I doubt we'll get it. I'm going to trail it anyway. So I'll get out when I get out on that. Dow, I'm long, not really going anywhere. S&P is a hedge. DAX is breaking down, so I'm going to stop out on that DAX. Ugh. Terrible DAX. Today's profit minus 7,000. That's not right. We've got some calculation problems. This is what happens when you're developing an EA live. How can I make 7 grand by breaking long up to 2R and hitting target? Something not right there, is there? Anyway, we'll come back to that in a bit. So CAD Swiss is the only extension today, ADR. We've still got nothing on the monthlies, obviously nothing on the weeklies. It's the first day of the week. So I'm just going to whiz through all the pairs today and have a look at where we are, I think. RSI extensions, nothing on the hourlies again. So we're just not able to get a big enough extension at the moment on anything on the hourlies. We've had a couple of entries which I've got into, but can't really get out of anything. Euro odd's going well. So that's coming up to target Euro odd. Pound odd doing well as well. Got a bit further to go. So yeah, in quite a few bits and pieces. As I say, the only thing that's a trouble at the moment is this pound US dollar, which has just gone nowhere today. So RSI extensions, CAD Swiss is extended on the 4-hour. We looked at this one this morning. So that was already extended on the 4-hour when we looked at it. It was just coming out of extension. It's now going back up again. So constant move up on this one. CAD yen extended. The US dollar yen is stuck. So just looking at the US dollar yen while we're talking about the yen pairs, because this level here is what we're interested in to see if we break this. If we get back above this level, the Japanese are going to start to complain about it, and then we'll start to get that push back down again. So potential for this to break out. Unlikely it's going to do it today by the looks. Things are not going anywhere at the moment, but this week certainly we've got news which is going to drive this. So if we do break out to the upside, we'll be looking for shorts. So this CAD yen is extended now above the previous monthly high. So we are right up at resistance. So this could be a really good short spot. Whether or not it's going to get through it, we don't know. So but it could be a good looking level for a short there. If we break that level on the CAD yen, you kind of got a couple of little resistance areas here, look, which are a little bit above where we are, sort of 200 ADR. So if this doesn't hold and it does continue to run through, we're going to hit some potential resistance areas there. These are quite old though. We're going back to October last year. So whether there's going to be a lot of orders sitting at those levels, I would sort of question, but we'll see. So CAD yen, that's extended on the 4-hour only just though. Pound CAD is the only extension we've got, which is a little bit more extended. This was extended on Thursday, sorry, when we looked at it. That's where I got in on that first entry, looking for a push up into propulsion. And it's popped down into this support that I drew in, which is this level here. Yeah. So we've popped down into this level. So here, we've reacted at this level multiple times. Bit of a reaction there, but and there, and there, and there. So we know this is a good strong level. So we'll see if we get any reaction down there. If not, we'll be pushing down into this level, which is about 150 ADR. So hopefully we'll get a bounce off of that. If not, we'll be pushing back down into there and hopefully get a bounce off of that. If so, if we get all the way down there, we haven't had a profit take on that entire move. It's going to definitely want to bounce back off of that level, isn't it, when it gets there? So, geez, these markets completely turned tail. I'm out of the DAX. Totally flipped. Why have all my trades closed? Right, okay. This is a demo, by the way. This is not a real account. $5,000 loss, so it shut the account. How did I do a $5,000 loss on that? My risk, 0.5%, so 1%. Shouldn't lock in more than 3% risk. Why is that? Miscalculated that somehow. I'm out of that anyway. But so basically, this new firm, Funded Pro, they've got a trial you can take. So this is a trial. So it's just a free trial to test the platform, etc., etc. They've got Funded Pro. Yeah. So with their platforms, this confused the hell out of me. You can sign up. I'll just say a bit about their platforms. Oh, yeah, there it was. Sorry, I missed it. But what platforms can I trade with? We've combined the best evaluation criteria, funded account technology, and the trade locker platform to give retailers of all levels one of the most powerful experiences in the market today. Yeah, trade locker is that piece of software. It's basically TradingView. The other options you've got are something called Osprey 4 and Osprey 5, which confused the hell out of me. Basically, it's MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 with Osprey FX Broker. So if you want to use MT4 and MT5, they do it. They just call it Osprey 4 and Osprey 5. Why not confuse the hell out of the entire population? But anyway, that's what they do. So yeah, so that was the trial. So that was a load of crap. I'm just trying to see how I got overexposed on that, because I had 0.5% risk. I didn't. I had 1% risk running on that. I had 1% risk running there. I forgot to change the variables for prop. Never mind. Oh well, I'll start another one. But on the plus side, the execution looked pretty good. Okay, scrap that. All out NASDAQ, Brian, 580, good man. GA, we'll have a look at that. So pound odd, I'm in one. And yeah, in profit, in one. This is really going to be dependent on the news this week. So this week, pound news is, Wednesday is CPI. So I covered this morning, but that CPI number there is expected to rise, which should rally the pound. Yeah, because interest rates, if interest rates are going up, or rather inflation rather is going up, that puts inflationary pressure on interest rates. So it makes them hike interest rates. Interest rates make currencies more powerful. So at the moment, we are forecast to go completely the wrong way on inflation in the UK. Not good at all. So if that does come out at 7.1, we should get a little pop on the pound. If it comes out anything more than 7.1, that thing's going to go through the roof. And Bailey's going to have to come out and tell us what the hell they're doing with interest rates. So the interest rates for the pound are released on Thursday lunchtime. We are expecting to go up 0.25% to 5.5. Again, should rally the pound. However, this is what we thought last week. We were expecting to get a 4.25 on the euro. They gave us a 4.5 and the euro actually collapsed on it. So you can't actually tell with interest rates at the moment what the hell is going on. This could go absolutely any way. So it's going to be quite a tricky one for the pound this week. But obviously, most of the pound pairs, if you whiz through them, yeah, they are all bullish at the moment. We've had a big bear run off the back of the news that we've just recently had, especially against the Canadian dollar and the US dollar, as you can see. But overall, we are expecting this US dollar to put its foot on the brake a little bit, which will give the pound a little bit of a chance to rally, especially if we get that interest rate going up. So everything pound, I think short term we should be looking long on it. But this market at the moment is doing what the hell it likes. We had a long conversation about it this morning in the live room. I haven't seen the market this out of whack for, I don't think, ever. A lot of these pairs, like the euro odd, yeah, they're just, you know, they're stuck. Sorry, not the euro odd. What was it we were looking at? Pound odd. Just totally stuck. Everything is just really, really stuck, but it's grinding and it's only just moving sort of a couple of ADR. Then it sits there for a week or so. We're not getting the movement we normally get in the markets at all. We haven't had for 6 weeks or so now. So it's very difficult to tell which way anything's going, because everything seems to be able to, at the moment, just push, accumulate for as long as the hell it wants to, and then it will go wherever it wants to, and then sit there and accumulate again for days or weeks. So it's very, very difficult trading conditions at the minute. So I think long, but that's what the market says. So there's nothing else to look at on the RSIs or the ADRs. So I was just going to whiz through all the pairs today and just have a look at where everything is. This week, there's not much point in doing a great deal of analysis, because starting from 1:30, well, actually starting from 2:30 in the morning tomorrow with the Australian dollar, but mainly from 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, we go into CPIs, rates, GDPs, rates, unemployment, rates, retail, press conference, PMIs. Literally the entire week, every few hours, we've got a major fundamental news event coming out, which is going to potentially change the direction of each currency. So anything we look at today on this nice bank holiday in Japan with no news, tomorrow morning, it's all going to be whatever the hell it wants to be. So, but looking at the moves we've got at the minute, things like, I'll start with the Aussies. So Australian dollar, as you can see, this is one of the ones we were looking at this morning. We were looking at an Aussie pair and a New Zealand pair, pretty much the same thing. I think it's Aussie US is the one that I'm in. Yeah, and someone was talking about Aussie. Someone's in Aussie, sorry, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I'm in Aussie US, which is pretty much the same pair. But as you can see from these Aussies, yeah, this is the last month. We haven't gone anywhere. And what we're actually doing is coming out of summer trading and contracting even further. Yeah, so coming out of August, you expect the market to move and rally in September, because we've had very little liquidity during August, which is totally normal, happens every year. What's happened this year is we've come into September, which starts here, and done even less. Yeah, so this market is contracting for some reason, ready to, I think, pop in a big way. But why and how? We need to wait for a fundamental to move that. So at the minute, absolutely sideways, Aussie dollar CAD. Canadian dollar is rallying at the moment off of oil prices, which seem to just be going up and up and up, not stopping. The Aussie's got nothing going for it, but nothing particularly negative either. If we look at the fundamentals, if the website loads on the Aussie, interest rates for the Australian dollar now sitting at 4.1. We didn't move them last time. Their inflation is one of the worst out there, along with us in the UK and obviously New Zealand. It's going in the right way, though, as is obviously ours and New Zealand. But their interest rates are the lowest. So in theory, the Aussies have got more room for manoeuvre. Their unemployment is also stable at the moment, which the rest of the world isn't. So there is plenty of opportunity for the Aussies to hike rates even further, which they should really be doing, but they haven't. So we're totally sideways and contracting on this. So you can see that is the original monthly range. We've now moved down into that for the last month. So we're an inside bar on the monthly range, which is contracted at 50% of what it normally trades at. Yeah, so we are really tight. So when this goes, we're going to get some big moves. Which direction, though? Flip a coin. Look at, we're just sitting in the middle of a range. Could go absolutely anywhere, couldn't it? But fundamentally, not really any bias. Canadian dollar should be stronger than the Aussie, which means that we should be seeing this come down, which is what I would expect to happen. But wait and see. Aussie dollar Swiss. So again, that's the monthly range at the moment. We're kind of sitting bang in the middle of this thing, not really going anywhere. It is obviously trending upwards at the moment, but last extension we had was there, so I got a long position on there. That was it. Haven't had a trade on it since June. It's just not, you see what I mean? I have never experienced in position trading a period of 8 weeks or so where just can't get a trade on. Had one trade, one opportunity, straight in, straight out. That's it. There's nothing happening. So again, it's moving. Everything is moving, but what it's doing is, rather than getting the normal price action that we normally see everywhere, what we're seeing is sit around for a week, have a quick rundown for a day, sit around for 3 or 4 days, quick rundown, sit around for a week. Let's pop up and sit there for a week and a bit. Have a go up there, see if we can get up there for 3 or 4 days. No, right, let's sit around here for another week. That's all we're getting. This does not give you any relative strength you can read off of the instruments. So all we're doing is we're sitting here getting the odd opportunity. So very, very hard. It doesn't matter which direction you go in. It's literally not going to move far enough for you to get a profit on it. It's just not giving any signals at the minute. So Aussie dollar yen, totally sideways. Again, same thing. We've had one entry short. That was the only opportunity. Very close to one there, which you would have got and got out of if you took it. Apart from that, nothing at all. So watch this monthly high. If we rally up, again, if we get this weakness in the yen, the US dollar starts to pop. The Japanese will start coming on strong and wanting to drop that. They will buy a load of yen, and this will be down 3, 4, 5, 600 ADR within a day. So I wouldn't want to do much else than short everything against yen at the moment. Doesn't matter what currency it is. If that yen powers up, everything's coming down. Aussie New Zealand sideways for, well, this is the last month, but going back to sort of middle of August, we were down here. September, just up at the highs. Potential short opportunity there. If you go out another level, you can see that we've got another resistance coming up here. So we're at a good spot for a short, but you know, if you get in there, expect to be in it for 3 or 4 days just to get one ADR out of it at the moment. So the Aussie dollar news is tomorrow morning. We've got the monetary policy meeting minutes. We've also got then New Zealand dollar GDP coming out on Wednesday evening or stroke Thursday morning. So there's 2 main news events we've got that are going to affect the Aussie dollar this week. So I'm just watching what's going on with these US markets. There's not an awful lot happening. Kind of stuck or whipsawing. Rubbish at the minute. So yeah, stuck basically, same as everything else. This could go either way. Obviously, we could have one rally off of the Aussie dollar, and then the New Zealand dollar can completely undo that this week. So the only way we're going to get any decent movement is if the Aussie dollar has positive news and the New Zealand dollar then has positive news. We might actually get a rally, but other than that, nowhere. Aussie US, again, looking for a pullback on this move. Haven't got it. All we got is that sell-off, and then we've been sitting sideways since 15th of August, middle of August, middle of some of the trading. So you nowhere. Flip a coin. This could go down there, could go up there. Hopefully we get a pullback on it, but there's no real reason for them to take profit on the move, because what they've done is kind of taken profit on that leg. They took profit on that leg. That is kind of a small pullback, not really a profit take that I would typically look at, but they accumulated for an entire week and then decided to break short. So there's absolutely no reason to push up there. We've got propulsion gaps, unfilled gaps, which normally we would see get filled, but this isn't a normal market, is it? So not really being much help today, am I? Afternoon, Hamza. CAD, got one short on the CAD at the minute. This again, we've got this nice area on the Canadian dollar where we've just got an accumulation, and a drop. So absolutely anywhere from here to here, you could find this pulls back on this move. That's what I'm looking for. A pullback on this move, profit take off of that move. But, at the minute, not really going anywhere either. All the yens, I'll cover all the yens quickly because they're all the same. They're all related to the US dollar. If that US dollar yen rallies over the 146 level, we're off. So let's go back and look at the US yen. We're up, 147 now, aren't we? 147.7, 150 is what we're looking at as the point of no return. So first intervention was 145 last year. Second intervention was 150. Third intervention was back at 145. Put the nail in the coffin. Yeah. So that's where the Japanese started saying, oi, stop it. That is the second place the Japanese said, oi, stop it. So far, we haven't pushed any further. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Last sort of noise we had out of Japan was 3 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. And the market is listening. We haven't rallied. But if this does rally up towards that 150 level, look out below. They're just going to do another move. That was the market listening to the intervention. We know what happens if the market doesn't listen to the intervention. The Japanese force us to listen to it. Yeah. So you get moves like that, which are 6 ADR to the downside. So think of your normal average daily range levels that we trade within. Multiply that by 6. That's a normal 4-hour candle. That's an intervention. Yeah. So that's what we're going to get if we get anywhere near that 150. We're currently trading here. That was the last level. Yeah, so we're bang in the middle. So it's down to the US dollar now to either rally and chance it or not. And we'll find out on Wednesday when the Fed releases the interest rates and we get the FOMC press conference on Wednesday evening. So that is going to decide the interim movement for the US dollar moving forward. So yeah, holding up at the moment there. So if you look at all these yen pairs, CAD yen, same thing. Swiss yen, same thing. Yeah, market, look at this Swiss yen. August. All of August, all of September. You can do with that. Managed to trade it twice, but, you know, 2 trades, 5 weeks, just can't get into it. So again, would much rather hit that button. So would take anything up there, but I'd be very, very worried about taking anything long on the CAD, on the Swiss yen. Euro yen, same thing, totally sideways. No idea where this is going. The euro has its rates increased and it collapsed. Totally the opposite of what we would normally tend to see on a news event like that. Pound yen, totally sideways. New Zealand yen, doesn't get any worse than that. And then this is the US. So all the yen pairs, basically, I'm not really interested in longing anything. It sells only against everything yen. One of two things is going to happen. They're going to push it. The Japanese are going to do that. They're not going to push it. It's going to do that anyway. Yeah. So just sell the yen. Sell everything against the yen, rather. Buy the yen. Sell everything against the yen. We just tapped into ADR on the DAX. Literally just comes straight off ADR. Look. So it's an ADR hit on the DAX. That was those yens. So euros. So obviously with the euro, we've got the interest rates rise. So we were forecast with the euro a 4.25. They gave us a 4.5. We weren't anticipating it. Kind of sort of were, but we weren't told we were going to get it. They delivered it. And now they've been, ever since that happened and it collapsed, we've been told that there might be another one coming. Don't read into this, that this is going to be the last one. We're certainly not going to reduce rates. Try and be bullish. Yeah, we were expecting you to buy the euro. You didn't. So that's what we got off of the rates. So the market is currently undoing these moves and pulling back. So longs on the euro at the minute. But long term, don't know. Don't know whether this is going to be the end. And again, everything, we're in the same boat with everything. So when you're looking medium to long term at the moment, everything is reliant on interest rates. Are we at terminal rates or aren't we at terminal rates? They are being so tight-lipped about it. We can't find out at the minute. So you kind of have to assume that we're going to do a little bit of a V-shaped recovery on it. But when we get back up into this accumulation, it could go absolutely anywhere. We're waiting for someone to make a move. No one's making a move. Euro-CAD, so this has come down hard, obviously, off of those rates. We've got the Canadian dollar rallying at the moment. However, the euro is fighting back. So we've got a nice drop into that monthly support, which we bounced out of. And we're pushing back up again. The reverse alert's all the way up there on the 4-hour. If you look at the hourlies, the reverse alert's still up there on the hourly. Look. We haven't had one buy candle at all the entire day on Thursday. And then Friday obviously just pulled back 50% of that move. So hopefully that's going to form a W pattern. But watch this level here for shorts out of that propulsion gap. Euro Swiss, 3 weeks, 4 weeks sideways. So, you know, all I want to do at the moment is literally sell every high and buy every low. And it's such a dangerous thing to do because when you've identified something so obvious, everybody's identified something so obvious, what tends to happen is you get to it and the obvious happens. It happens. You start to get the trade play out. But at some point, this has all got to break and we've got to go trend. We've got to get a breakout on all of this stuff that's been going sideways for such a long time. So to me, it's just getting so dangerous when you're buying the lows and selling the highs at the minute, because at some point we're going to break out. But at the minute, that's really all you can see on the charts. Yeah, look at the trades on this. I haven't traded this all of the last month. There hasn't been one extension. Just about got one in there, which you'd have taken a second off and exited. Just about maybe got one in there, but that was off the back of the news event. So the RSI wasn't triggered by the time the reversal alert was. So I didn't get that one on. So there's some very, very close ones, but again, just not got into any positions on it. Stuck sideways. We're bang in the middle of this range. Euro pound, not going anywhere at all. No extensions on it, as you can see. Last trade was all the way back here. Nice, quick, easy. This is what we're looking for, yeah? This is normal price action. Yeah. We're not getting it. Just not happening, is it? Yeah. We're used to seeing stuff move day after day, get some extensions, some nice strong moves, some nice big pullbacks. It's just, you know, we're not getting at the moment. So last entries on that one was there. Nice position trade, but no movement on it yet. Nothing extended. Bang in the middle of a trade. No idea if we're bullish or bearish on the euro or the pound. Not giving anything away. Stuck. Euro yen we've covered. Euro New Zealand. New Zealand dollar, I would say, is probably going to be weaker than the euro. But I'm waiting to see what happens with the US dollar rates, basically, and what the reaction is to the US dollar. Because I think once that US dollar kicks off, everything else will follow suit. So I suspect we should really be looking for longs on the euro against the New Zealand dollar. Continuing this upward momentum. Same with the Australian dollar. So this is a lovely bounce. When we're in a trend, we bounce out the 72 and the 24. Yeah. So this is a nice 72 bounce potentially playing out. So we should be looking for a retest up at those highs. No reason why they shouldn't really go long against the New Zealand dollar. But same with the Australian dollar as well. Euro odd. Yeah, we have broken down a little bit deeper than that 72. But still think it's bullish. So the only downside we've got with this is with both of these Australasian pairs, the Aussie and the New Zealand. So the New Zealand dollar is at 5.5. They're going to struggle to get any more interest rates out of this. I think they'll going up to 5.7 or 6 is going to be difficult. Aussies have. So with the Australians, there's plenty more room for maneuver there, I think, with them. So with this euro odd, there is potential that this could just turn into Australians rallying. But the New Zealand, not quite so much. I think what we'll probably find is we go more into sort of a range with this as these kind of become neutral, but I'll be more bullish than bearish at the minute. Euro US dollar, again, we are in the lap of the gods with this US dollar. It's just strong at the moment. It's not looking like it's stopping at all. We had last week every single news event, bar one, giving us green figures. Yeah, so every single US was coming out green. It was green, 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 green. Yeah, green, green. The only thing that was negative was University of Michigan. It's the only negative news event that we had last week for the US dollar. So the Dow has broken to the downside. All the other indices are just a mess. So NASDAQ broken long. That's hit target. S&P sideways. Should show you really, shouldn't I? So we know what we're talking about. S&P just totally sideways. NASDAQ break long is done. Why is that closed? Sorry. Change the EA. I've changed the settings on the EA. I haven't changed one here. Basically, this MT4 you're looking at here is not trading. This is just used for visual purposes. The VPS is actually doing the trading. And I've just realized I've changed the settings on the VPS to be the optimized settings that I found, which is why this is painting differently. Anyway, so yeah, we've broken to the upside. We've just slammed straight down on the Dow. NASDAQ is stuck. S&P is stuck. Everything else is just stuck at the minute. So yeah, Euro US dollar, I've got longs on this one at the moment. After this move, so from this high back in the beginning basically of August, so this is the beginning of August, we really haven't had much. We've had a bit of a pullback literally for 3 days or so, and then we've just done nothing but lose progress. So looking basically for a pullback to start on this Euro US dollar, we've got a very nice support coming down here, which is kind of where we are at the moment. But if you zoom out a little bit, if this doesn't hold this area here, which is kind of where we are at the moment, we're going to be looking at coming back down here. So like most things, if the supports and resistances aren't holding, we've got roughly 1.5 2 ADR until the next levels across most things at the minute. So but as you can see, you know, big move down. We have not had any profit take move whatsoever on that trade yet. It's coming. We're just waiting for some US dollar weakness. All the pounds, as I said, all the pounds I think still longs. So I still think there's more legs in the pound, especially against everything else apart from possibly the Canadian dollar. So long pound odd, pound CAD long on that one as well. These have both given RSI extensions last Thursday, so we've got nice entries for profit take moves basically on these two. The pound Swiss, pretty much a sideways mess. No trades taken at all on this one in the whole of August, pretty much, or September. Actually, there was one in August, wasn't there? Yeah, there. So there was one trade in August which got out straight away. That was it. So haven't traded this again for 6-7 weeks now. No entries. So sideways mess, just choppy. This is the problem with this. There will be so many people with so many strategies getting chopped to death at the moment because we are literally just moving up and down massively intraday. So anybody trading on any time frame that's not M5, they're going to be getting into stuff and they're just going to be stopped out constantly or going nowhere, getting frustrated and getting chopped to death. I'd imagine there's going to be a massive influx of or new traders on YouTube going, hey, I've made a load of money over the last blah, 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 doing mean reversion strategies. And all the people that have been making money before, using breakouts and trends, they'll all disappear. Or they'll change their strategy and then they'll suddenly get killed at the end of September / October when it all starts going back to how it was before. Strategy hoppers. So, but as you know, it's not the way the market tends to work. You can't fit a strategy around the market. You just have to basically trade what you see. So at the moment we are range bound. So just looking for range bound stuff. Bias is long, should remain long. However, the Swiss franc obviously is linked to the euro. So if Lagarde comes out and rallies that euro anymore, we might see some more strength coming through. But literally anything you can get into, it's almost worth switching the RSI down to like 70-30. But even then, you wouldn't have had a trade on it. Look, that's the only trade you'd have had. Just pulling teeth at the minute. But so yeah, pound yen we've covered. Pound New Zealand, pretty much the same as the pound odd. Haven't had an entry on it. Again, 3 or 4 day push, accumulation, big push. Probably what it's just going to do, sit there. But Australian dollar tomorrow morning, we've got the news coming out. So if we get negative news on that, we'll see a flyer. Positive news, we'll see another move down. But if you look at it long term, we're just pulling back at the moment on this rally up. Yeah, so 24 bounce, if it doesn't hold, tends to turn into 72 bounce. Should be bullish. So good spot to start buying long. I'm not in this one, but I'm in pound odd. So pretty much the same thing. They both move together. Pound US dollar, been in it for, what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks. Going into week 9. Week 9. And all it's done is kind of 6/7 ADR. So just grinding down. It's basically grind. We had one pullback. So it's a grind accumulation. A little bit of a grind. Next accumulation. Yeah. So looking for a big pullback on this. But again, we need that weak US dollar. Just don't understand why it's not weakening at the minute. But support coming up. Anywhere down here, there's tons and tons and tons of levels of support here. Anywhere down here could act as a catalyst to drive this back up again, but we really need some news. So hanging on the news this week. Hopefully we get a push out of it. I've got an aggressive position on this, which looks like it's going to stop out today. Almost stopped out this morning, this aggressive drawdown control position. It missed me by that much this morning, but I'll be out of that if it pushes down any further today. And then I'll reevaluate, but can't get out of it. New Zealand CAD, sideways, mess. Canadian dollar, at the moment, obviously strong based on oil, but oil has been rallying for far too long. We've been rallying now on oil since the 23rd of August. We haven't stopped. So this thing, again, is due. We need a bit of a rest. Yeah, that was the last time we rallied this distance. And then we just sat sideways for roughly 2.5, 3 weeks. Rallied again. So I would suspect, and this is what I'm waiting for, is a pullback to get in long on it. So if you look at the pullback that it managed to do, it's very difficult to spot in here. But that is probably the move, and that is probably the pullback, which is exactly 38% retracement. So I'd be looking for a similar thing, assuming that we are going to continue to rally. Oil is still constricted as a supply, which means that the price is just going to continue to go up all the time. They've put a cap on oil production in the Saudis with the Russians. It's going up. So unless that changes, and we get the next OPEC meeting, which says you need to stop this, off we go. So looking at the Canadian, New Zealand dollar CAD and things like that, these should still, I think, be shorts at the moment. But if oil does drop, this is going to have a breather and have a chance to pull back. But it hasn't managed to do any of that, look, at all, with all that rallying going on. And the Canadian dollar hasn't made much progress, has it? Yeah, so it's just, as I say, sideways. Waiting for this thing to liven up. No movement on that one. Last entry was back here. In, out, done. Nothing all month. New Zealand yen we've looked at. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, sideways. Again, this one, good opportunity for longs. Last entry was there. Nice, easy, quick in and out. When the entries have been there, they've been fantastic. Don't get me wrong. There's only 2 pairs, really, which have squeezed too much. Everything else has been straight in, straight out. We just haven't had enough movement intra-week. So the intraday movements, like big moves up, big moves down. Yeah, we've had lots of big intraday movement. What we need to get into RSI extensions is multiple day movement. ADR, RSI extension, profit take. That's what we've missed. So when we've got them, they've been good. But as you can see, there hasn't been any recently. So we're just stuck at the moment. So yeah, sideways on this, as you can see, we pushed down, made a range. We're there. We're just still in it. So again, contracted. So we're contracted with inside the previous range now. Just not going anywhere at all. US dollar CAD. Out of my US dollar CAD partly this week. So again, this is a little bit like the pound US dollar trade that I've got on from the beginning of August. Been scaling out on the way. Made some nice profitable trades on it, which have kind of paid for most of the drawdown control. I'm probably a little bit in the hole still on it at the minute. But still got 3 positions on. We're down at support, and it looks like it might hold here. We'll see. If it does, we're going to do that. So if we do push up, I'll be getting into shorts again and just keep getting out of this thing until it decides to make a move. Yeah. And as I say, that's what we need. We need the FOMC to come out this week. We need the Fed to talk the US dollar down. Tell us that we are at terminal rate. Tell us that the interest rates are coming down at some point early next year. Inflation is under control. As soon as we get that news, we get some movement on the US, the rest of the market will wake up. Because we can't do anything until we know what that's doing. US dollar Swiss, again, very, very sideways, stuck all last week. And then obviously all last month, stuck. US dollar yen, as we know, we are deciding whether or not we want to poke the Japanese with a sharp stick or not. And we'll find out on Wednesday. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting one. If we get that rally off of the US dollar, I think there's going to be a pretty big catalyst from the Japanese to start this thing moving as well. But we thought that back here. And they just said, nope. But this is exactly what they did last time. Yeah, exactly what they did last time. Yeah, if you go back and look at the previous intervention here, it's exactly what the US did. Yeah, we got up to that level. They started shouting and they went, yeah, yeah, yeah. Got up to that level, they started shouting, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Got up to that level and they said, oi, don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, we won't. That's a big intervention. Doesn't look like much, does it? But measure that candle. 558 pips. ADR is 90. Yeah, so that's 6 ADR. Big, big, big intraday move. And then the market just went and sat again and like poked and went, remember that level you didn't want us to go over? Screw you. That's when it all kicked in. Look at exactly what we're doing now. Yeah, we're just poking. Yeah. Just trying to make that little bit of headway and trying. It's almost like they're trying to sneak under the radar as if the Japanese aren't watching. But obviously, as soon as that gets to 150, if it gets above this 147, it's not going to be productive for the Japanese to trade with the US anymore. So they will intervene, they will buy a load of yen, and boom, we have that collapse start. So that could be the catalyst that we're waiting for. We haven't had it this time. The market paid attention last time, just did a normal profit take on the move, but then they've just rallied the US dollar. So that has to stop. A lot of currencies at the moment are getting to the point with this US dollar where it's just becoming uneconomical. So they've got to get some reverse movement done. The world has to work. Economics have to have an area of balance where everybody can make money. Yeah, if all of a sudden it's US only people are the only people making money, everyone goes, I'm not going to bother doing it with you anymore. And then the US have to drop to be able to encourage trade. Obviously, the spanner in the works at the moment is this BRICS thing, which again, we don't know how that's going to impact. Again, we talked about that this morning. Aren't the Japanese on holiday today? Yep, they are. And that's what I said this morning. You know, quite often on a Japanese bank holiday, we get a big move. We have a big, strong day put in, 150 ADRs plus, because the Asian session usually is very flat, and London tends to move it, and then New York tends to carry it on because they can't do anything about it. So it's an opportunity to make a big move. I think today the market is exhausted and shocked by this move that we've had from last week. So it's reeling a little bit at the moment off the back of the euro rate. Yeah, positive rate. Euro should have flown, didn't, collapsed. The market is just out of sync, totally out of sync with everything. Fundamentals, the lot. But, you know, this is why this is done so well this month. Yeah, the ADR reversals on the market reversal alerts EA, killing it, because this takes advantage of intraday movement. When you get an intraday extension, it means reverts the intraday extensions. That is all we've been doing for the last month. So, yeah, quite rightly killing it. Same as the H1 hedging set file. Killing it. Yeah, done 20%. because all we're doing is that, and all this is doing is that. So yeah, really good profit off of those. But the normal mean reversions, the H1 and H4 mean reversion strategies, which is usually my bread and butter, just can't get it because it's not moving. So tricky. Poking the Japanese sumo bear, yeah. It will move. You know, it's just a case of we are waiting for a catalyst. But like I said this morning, we don't. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and the Aussie dollar, US dollar really paint the picture nicely. In the fact that, you know, you can see very clearly the New Zealand and the Aussie have had a fairly neutral summer. And for them to do that against the US dollar just shows you how weak all these markets have been. The European pairs have been the ones which have really struggled during summer. As you can see, they've come down against the Australian dollar, against everything. Same with the euro. Just not be able to get anywhere. So we're just waiting for a catalyst. It's a horrible situation to be in, but it will change. Where is the reversal indicator included? Afternoon, Amy. How do you mean, where is it included? Everything you need is on the website. So if you go and have a look on the website, all the indicators I use are all under here. All the EAs I use are under here. All the education is under there. The link to the indicators page. But yeah, dicey at the minute. Did you go through the CAD Swiss? Yeah. Getting kind of deep into that. CAD Swiss. So you're in from here, I guess, aren't you? And didn't get out on it. Yeah, I mean, you had an ADR there from the reversal alert. So if you didn't get out on that, obviously you'll be in to the tune of roughly 3 ADR. So anything up to 6 positions on that, depending on how you're scaled. So yeah, this will come down with, well, say come down. This will react with the US dollar. So we are reliant with the Canadian dollar. We are partly reliant on what the US dollar does as well, because when the US dollar rallies, the Canadian dollar tends to go with it, and vice versa. However, the CAD's kind of got its own little life at the moment with this oil movement. So there is potential, I think, for the Canadian dollar to kind of hold a little bit, even if we get a little bit of weakness in the US dollar. But I think with what we've seen over the US dollar in the last few weeks, as soon as we get that negative news, it will move fast and it will move hard, and we'll get a very swift profit take move. And if that does happen, the Canadian dollar will probably get dragged with it. So I think it's a safe short, especially with the euro being rallied at the moment. If they continue to talk up that euro, if Lagarde comes out and says anything about another interest rate hike, that Swiss is going to power up as well. So that would mean CAD Swiss down. But we are waiting until Wednesday. We're not really going to get any clue. And mind you, you've got CAD CPI tomorrow. Of course you have, yeah. So, I mean, tomorrow afternoon, you're going to know on that CAD Swiss. If the CPI comes out lower than expected for the Canadian dollar, that takes all that pressure off the inflationary. We know that the US dollar's hitting pretty much terminal rate. So that will all be negative CAD and US if that comes out as negative. But I think we're waiting really the FOMC press conference Wednesday evening. That's when we're going to get some movement. But, you know, we've had FOMCs where we've been waiting and we've sat there, watched FOMC and gone, is that it? We've moved up half an ADR, down half an ADR and gone absolutely nowhere. That's the case. Don't know. M5, scalping is the only way you're going to make money at the minute, because all the other time frames are just not productive at the moment. So Tricky. Opening range breaks today. All very tricky. Ignore these numbers. I don't know where it's getting all these figures from. Obviously, I've screwed something up in the EA, and it hasn't even cancelled off these shorts yet. So ORB, nice and long. So that was a pretty easy one on the NASDAQ this afternoon even. The others, messy, very messy. Messy overall. It's losing days today for hedging anyway. If you're taking ORBs using the stop loss with the opening range breakout EA, it's stopped out on the longs. You are short at the moment there. You stopped out, a double-ended stop out on the S&P. Nothing you can do with it. Look at it. Look at the wicks on this thing today. Horrible. Horrible wicks. There's not many people going to be making money on this thing today. It's just a wicky mess. John Wick officially in the building. You know what happens when John Wick turns up? You get messy. I'm only in 3 positions. Average is 100 ADR with 1 drawdown done. Been in it for a while now. I just want to get out. Yeah. But you know, look at it from a, don't look at it from a time perspective. Try to ignore time. Position trading is just not time related. Because the whole purpose and the whole premise of position trading is we operate off the back of the bank moves. So the banks move, we get in on their profit take move. If the banks move and decide not to profit take, that can be weeks where we are just stuck because the banks have not done what we were anticipating. We have to wait for them to make their next move. Their next move either comes our way or it doesn't come our way. If it doesn't come our way, we have to wait for them to do whatever they're going to do before they then undo that move. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the scaling in. So if you're in something, you've only got 3 positions in it and you've been in it for a week or so, that's normal. Go and look at the back testing in the market reverse alerts EA. If you go and visually back test the market reverse alerts EA and watch it, you'll see how long these trades. I mean, I'd have to zoom out a little bit. I've got to zoom out a little bit just to find some trades that have got more than 1 position. But if you look at a normal position, I mean, that one's just a single. That one I'm in. Trying to find a trade that I've got multiples on. There's not many at the moment. See that one there. See, even that trade there, look, that was 2 entries off of that extension. We're looking for that. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And that's only on 2 positions. But this is summer trading, so it does get extended a little bit longer. But a normal position, like an ADR reversal, would normally take no more than a couple of days. Oof. Here we go. Oil. Watch oil. See that pop then? Wait for the chart to update. Well, I can't get it updated on lower time frames, but we've just had the CEO of Chevron saying he sees oil going to $100 a barrel. Remember Goldman Sachs target 95? That just backed up Goldman Sachs. So we were looking at a target $95 a barrel. Yeah, he's just basically said, nah, further. Yeah. This contraction we've got on production with oil and Saudis means there is restricted supply. The demand is not changing. When you've got a restricted supply and excessive demand, prices can be charged higher. So Chevron just backing up basically what we were anticipating, which is a rally up to $95 a barrel. However, Can't get in. I called it down here, didn't I? This here is where I said buy. This double bottom was a 38 retracement on that move. Yeah. So remember, we stuck a fib on it. We went, right, as soon as we get a retracement on it, this is where we want to be getting in. Minimum retracement is going to be 38. That's what we get. We got a double bottom, and I said, this is it. Bang. I didn't take it. And then I said, I missed it, but what I'm going to wait for is hopefully a break and a pullback. And then I said last week, I'm waiting for this to pull back. And I'm still saying I'm waiting for it to pull back. Just missed it. Missed the entry. But anyway, so yeah, oil. No, look back. I can't buy it. I can't buy it up there. You're chasing it, aren't you? You try and buy it all the way up here. It's been rallying for weeks. Look at it on a daily chart. Yeah, you don't buy stuff when it's done that. You buy it when it's done that. I just can't buy it there. But I don't see any reason why it's going to pull back. Got people from Chevron now saying, yeah, it's going up. That's not going to help, is it? Anywho, Euro odd. Getting, I can't chance it. I'm taking Euro odd off. So out of Euro odd. See, that's taken 2 weeks. First entry. Oh no, it's 2 days. Sorry, I was going to say I thought I was looking at a 4-hour chart then. That's taken 2 days for that one to get out. That's a pretty normal position trade, yeah. In 2 to 3 positions, out in 2 to 3 days. That's the norm. That's what we're used to. We're used to just getting in, getting out, take the money and run. We're not getting that at the minute. The reason I'm taking this off, that was where my target was in this propulsion gap. We know that propulsion gaps get filled to 50% often and down because that's where they started the move. That's where they add their positions. So that is also this previous resistance. Yeah. So we pushed down through that resistance and we've broken down again. So this level here is kind of a previous area that we've reacted at. So I'm out of that. Tomorrow morning, we've got the Australian monetary policy meeting minutes. So there's no point in this leaving this on, because if those monetary policy meeting minutes come out and we are expecting a big strong rally on the Australian dollar, I'm just going to get back into drawdown on it. So I might as well just bank it. Finding it hard enough to bank stuff at the moment. So 0.37% is happy days, isn't it, at the minute? Anyway. Also, when you look at the daily on the CAD Swiss, it looks like it's going to fall very heavily. CAD Swiss. Yeah, I mean, it's a 5-day rally is typical. We're on day, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at the size of this rally today as well. Look, second biggest candle we've had this month. But the thing that worries me about it is where it's going. Look, that's where the reversal alert was. So there's just market structure break there. Obviously, we started the short move. That is, this propulsion gap is where they started the sell move. Between here and there is clear air. There's nothing there on that move at all to stop this from just carrying on. Apart from negative news. So CPI for the Canadian dollar tomorrow. We need that, or rather you need that. Well, I need it as well, but we need that to be negative. If we get positive CPI in the CAD, it's squeezy. Nicely extended though. See on the daily as well, look, we're extended on the daily. Yeah, I mean the daily chart, when you look at the RSI extensions on the daily, I mean I'm not aware that anybody that uses my strategies actually trades daily with hourly entries, which is the time frame you would use with daily. But look at the daily RSIs for pullbacks. They're pretty reliable most of the time. Yeah, we're extended to the upside now. Last upside extensions we had were there. Pretty much it. So we're in a downtrend as well. It looks good, but I'm not sure if it's got a little bit more room. So you might be stuck in it a little bit longer, but we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. Almost 1K in the NASDAQ, chop fest. Well done, Brian. That NASDAQ is a nasty, nasty, nasty thing today. Look at it. If it was to update. I mean, look at the wicks. So that's the range of movement there. Look, wicks up to here and down to here. That's actual range of movement. That's death. Finally push up. Huge wicks. Huge wicks. Huge wicks. Pre-market high off. It's hard to make money out of stuff like this. It's just shot fest. Horrible. Story of the market at the minute. So there's that rally on oil. Right, I'll leave it there. I've just banked that euro odd. There's nothing else to bank at the moment. Everything else is just sitting in drawdown. Literally nothing in any danger or problems at all, apart from the pound US dollar. Everything else is just literally in drawdown. Look at the wicks on this thing today as well. Look at the movement. Just horrible. Horrible. The whole market is horrible. I don't like it anymore. I've had enough. If someone could just send Lagarde, Bailey, and Powell just a quick email to say, all right, you've had your fun for the last 6 weeks. If you wouldn't mind just rallying or dumping, I don't care which. I can make money whichever way you go. I just want you to go somewhere. That would be lovely. And while you're at it, send Ueda an email and tell him that the US is secretly planning to go to 155, and then he can buy up every single yen and the yen can collapse. So if we can just get that organized in the next week, we'll be back to normal. So October, watch this space. We'll make some money. But this month, I have had teeth pulled with less pain at the dentist than it is extracting money from this market. So there you go. Just one of those things. The real world. Those three need a weekend of wild swimming. Yeah, we need to stick them all together, wild swimming, with Greg Secker, and that will be it. All of a sudden, the markets will start to move. Or maybe we should get Greg Secker to drown them all and put someone else in charge, because those lot aren't doing anything at all helpful at all, are they, at the moment? We'll see. But, you know, we've tried today. We've had a good go. The ECB have come out today and, Yellen's just been speaking. Missed him. What was Yellen saying? Good, strong labour market. Labour market is cooling, but doesn't involve significant layoffs. See what I mean, right? I'm not being funny, but we've got a good, strong labour market. It's cooling off. Well, it's not strong then, is it, Yellen? What is it, strong or not? Is it cool? Is it strong? Is it cool? Is it strong? What is it? Why don't you just contradict yourself literally 2 minutes after you said the first thing? That's really helpful. Thanks for that. Job openings are still high, showing a healthy labour market. Consumer spending remains robust. But we don't want that, do we? Inflation. I expect to see some impacts from the Fed fund rate increases. You already have. It's collapsed. What are you going to do next? That's what we want to know. No signs of economy in a downturn. Well, that's what the International Monetary Fund thinks. It reckons you're going into recession, mate. So, you know, it's just utterly useless. All of this stuff is just waffle, waffle, waffle. Sorry, guys, we haven't got a clue. But anyway, we'll just keep raking the money in. Doesn't help anybody, does it? That's all we're getting at the minute. Never been a fan of talking heads, and I'm getting even less fanny with them. Right, I'll leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. It's going to be a bit of a washout on the indices today as well. So, not a good week this week. started off with a losing week, and yeah, anyway, let's sort it out the rest of the week. So hopefully we'll get some decent movement tomorrow. Canadian dollar 130 tomorrow afternoon. Just keep an eye on the positions and just keep managing them as normal and hoping that we get some movement. So we'll have a look at it again tomorrow morning. So back 7:50 tomorrow for the Frankfurt session, 2:20 for New York for the US indices. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. But anything else you need, I'll be in Telegram. Yeah, I'll update you if anything moves. If not, I'll probably tell you the same thing tomorrow, because that's pretty much what's happening every day at the moment. All right, so have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.